Ndị be anyị kenekwe m unu. Anyị sị ka nkonye chiri ya zelu. Anyị sị ka ọ mara na Igbo na mma. Anyị adị ka Chineke ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru ya, otu akwa ya dịrị. Ise, ise, ise. Edị ka o si dị ụbọchị uhuruchi nketa anyị wetara nnukwu ozi. Biko geenụ ntị. Ife according to the Biafran activist wetara ya bụ ozi. Quote, Nigerian government in panic as Israel received Mazi Nnamdi Kanu open letter to allegedly sanction Dodge against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. All right, this is according to the Biafran activist wetara ya bụ ozi n'ilu akwụkwọ. Agụgode ya bifo ji maka wee bịa n'ilu akwụkwọ dịka ihe gị ị ga-esi dropụra ife iche n'ụdị nke gị. All right, over to you, sir.
That is when Nnamdi began to smell a rat. Because what is so special about Nyako? Is she not just a judge like every other judge? Why must she be the one that the file will be going, you recuse yourself, you bring the file back to the same judge? No. What makes Nyako so special to try Nnamdi Kanu's matter? Now, Nnamdi has no other option rather than to write an open letter. So let Nigerians see how he is faring with his trial. Let Nigerians see it. They tried the same thing with Nnamdi Kanu. A plane flew into Kenya, got Nnamdi arrested. Whatever way they used to hypnotize and put him into a plane and bring him to Nigeria, only them knows. Even though Kenyan government says they are not even aware that the plane came to Nigeria, but that is also a falsity, because every plane that takes off from any airport in the world
has a
known.
destination.
Yes, it is known. Just like a ship. Any ship that takes off from any port in the world, there is a monitoring mechanism for ships, just like there are for planes. You know, Nnamdi Kanu had or have legal representation all the while. A greater number of those doing them pro bono. You can see that of Ejimako. You can see that of the other young man from what's his name. Now, these people have been representing him all the while in court. But if you watch the scenario of what happened last week in open court, even while the judge was still sitting, he opened up and said he wanted to take his fate in his own hands. Let him defend himself. Let him talk how he feels. You see, when you have two different laws for two different sets of people in one country in brackets, you find out that this is the kind of thing you expect to be happening. Because we can recall that in this platform of Afet TV, we have discussed the Attorney General's enter of Nole for the Mieti Allah suspect that was being tried for terrorism and reasonable felony. We have also seen the discharge of the case of Igboho in the Southwest. Now ask yourself, what is so special about Nnamdi Kanu's own? Nnamdi Kanu, when he said the husband and the son of Justice Nyako is being tried for corruption somewhere, and that they gave him a condition that she should jail him so that the son and the husband could be set free. Some people began to dig whether it is true or not, and found out it is true. Now, that's by the way. The judge also recused herself following Nnamdi Kanu's protest last year. I think that was around between November or September or thereabouts. The judge said, okay, since you don't want me to try you, I will not try you. That is what you call recusing yourself. She recused herself. Now, the file was returned to the chief judge of the Federal High Court for reassignment to any other judge, or even to himself. Nothing stops him assigning it to himself. After all, they are all judges. The difference is that this one is the eldest. Otherwise, they are primus. He's just a mere primus inter pares among judges. he cannot even overrule a fellow judge because all of them have the same power. But administratively, somebody should be at administrative level. The chief judge of the Federal High Court is at the administrative level. So when the case file was returned to him, the rumor mill says that many judges rejected the file. That's the rumor mill. It wasn't in the judge's own hands. He didn't write it down, because if he had written that, we could have known a judge that would be assigned a case and say he will reject it. Now, even if all the judges reject it, why not take it on yourself? Since Nyako has recused herself, now you sent it back to Nyako. That is when Nnamdi began to smell a rat. Because what is so special about Nyako? Is she not just a judge like every other judge? Why must she be the one that the file will be going, you recuse yourself, you bring the file back to the same judge? No. What makes Nyako so special to try Nnamdi Kanu's matter? Now, Nnamdi has no other option rather than to write an open letter. So let Nigerians see how he is faring with his trial. Let Nigerians see it. Now, as a lawyer, at least any lawyer that is above 20 years post-court is no more a young lawyer, because some people call a young barrister. I'm not a young barrister. So I think my take home from this very trial is that it is no more prosecution of a suspect, let me put it that way. It's no more prosecution of a suspect. It is now persecution of a suspect. Because why do I say it is persecution? Persecution in the sense that, number one, you have an illegal act which you committed to bring Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. That is rendition. It is illegal, both under international law and our own law. But then it happened under Buhari. And Buhari, like all we know, is a man of rendition. He tried to rendition Umar Diko, where he was a military head of state. But the ego eye of British police, the American police, I think it was American police also, I think British, they caught him and then opened the crate. Lo and behold, it was Umar Diko that was created in a crate, about to be taken back to Nigeria on a diplomatic bag. Because according to Buhari, he was indicted in a military tribunal that was set to try politicians who held sway in Nigeria between 1979 and 1988, when they had their coup. Now, they tried the same thing with Nnamdi Kanu. A plane flew into Kenya, got Nnamdi arrested. Whatever way they used to hypnotize and put him into a plane and bring him to Nigeria, only them knows. Even though Kenyan government says they are not even aware that the plane came to Nigeria, but that is also a falsity, because every plane that takes off from any airport in the world
has a destination.
Yes, it's known. Just like a ship. Any ship that takes off from any port in the world, there is a monitoring mechanism for ships, just like there are for planes. So telling us that they don't know that the plane came to Kenya and took Nnamdi Kanu is neither here nor there. But let us leave Kenya out of it. Let us look at the people that orchestrated the mass rendition to Nigeria. Now, having been rendition to Nigeria, the question is, what stops you, assuming you have renditioned them illegally? And you can recall also that there are about 1 or 2 court orders or court judgments telling them to release Nnamdi Kanu. And in all these things, the federal government has never faulted. Either way, they will say they will draft a new charge. If court discharges you of a given charge for which you were arraigned in court, and you are still kept by the security agencies 1 minute after that order, it's an illegal detention. You are measured as a national leader by your respect for human rights. If Tinubu is a president, if I am to advise him, but at the very first onset of his administration, if I were to be his legal advisor, what I could advise him is to order the release of all those people being tried on self-determination charges. Because ordinary law, under both international law and national laws of the states, it's not a crime. If somebody says, I want to live where I belong, even Nigerian constitution gives freedom of association. So if you say, I don't want to associate with Nigeria again, is it not part of freedom of association? Remember the Supreme Court has interpreted dissemination of information, knowledge and whatever in the constitution to mean that you are free to set up even private universities. Because that's when initial universities were being set up here and there. Federal government started to clamp down on some of the private universities. They went to court. And the Supreme Court interpreted it to mean that dissemination of information and this for whatever reason also includes setting up university, because this university, you are getting knowledge there and there are information being displayed there. And that also gave rise to the springing up of some of these private electronic and print media. Like we are here now. Ordinary before, it was the MTA that had the monopoly.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying in effect is that if the president has been advised rightly, I think what he could have done in the first instance, when he was releasing Igboho and the other Mietiala young man, he could have also said, Nnamdi Kanu, go home and sin no more. If you want to carry out your demand for self-determination, follow international best practices. There are guidelines. Go to the United Nations, seek two-thirds majority, or find any of the Security Council henchmen, the ones that once they can veto anything, get just one. Let that one come and speak on your behalf, on the behalf of the country you're asking for, under the United Nations Charter. Then go and organize a referendum in your own area. Let us know how many people want to leave and how many people don't want to leave. So, but you also find out that people are saying that the rumor mills making the rounds is that the stakeholders in the southeastern part of Nigeria, in fact, the eastern region of Nigeria, doesn't also want Nnamdi Kanu released.
Yeah, that's a very disturbing
Yes.
thing to, I mean, it's the moving around, but in what way would they be benefiting from his continuous detention?
Yes, let me tell you how they would benefit. You see, there are two groups of people that control the masses: the state actors and non-state actors. The state actors are the ones purportedly, in bracket, voted into power. They are the state actors. Non-state actors are like people like Nnamdi Kanu and the NGOs. They are the non-state actors. Now, you find out that most of the time, if the non-state actors gives a directive, people obey it to the letter, including this sit-at-home that I refused to go in the southeast. Even if the urban areas now don't observe sit-at-home, we go to the villages, they are all sitting at home on Mondays. No school opens. The teachers will tell you it is better I will be alive and my salary deducted than I'll be a dead person and nobody pays me anything. So you find out that who gave that instruction for sit at home every Monday? Not state actors. Now state actors have said, disobey it, come to work. I will deal with you if you don't come to work. Yet they are still being disobeyed. So there is likelihood that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, he will rupture the political setting for some of these state actors.
So could
What a wonderful question, the anchor of this great platform. First and foremost, I want to say, someone has come out to say, or has outlined countless times that he said that the Nigerian government cannot win Biafra with a barrel of gun for the second time. Now when he said that, see, Nigerian government cannot win Biafra with a barrel of gun, it means that nobody needs to die for them to exit Nigeria. Now, Ojogun fought Biafra in a different dimension. Now, Nnamdi Kanu did it via his own dimension. So everybody is taking it globally. And now, we've seen world body recognize Biafra. We've seen the UN and then some other global body have come out to endorse the Biafra struggle. So kudos to him, it is a plus. some persons have come out to say that Samonepa should be discredited, the likes of Ohanes Ndigbo and that of the southeastern governors. But my question is that you said Samonepa should not be taken serious. Then who should be taken serious? The government who is not willing to protect our people? Is it the people who have refused to speak up when the Igbo man has been marginalized in the country? Is it the same governors who have become a tools in the hands of their Fulani master? So for you to even have a character like Samonepa and Nnamdi Kanu to have come out to say enough is enough, that we are tired of this contraption called one Nigerians. It shows that these people have this mindset that see they can no longer be the slave. So for him to have even gone as far as to hire lobbyists that will speak on behalf of Biafra in the world in the UN summit, to me it's a plus, and that alone the voice of Biafrans will be heard globally, and the voice of an Igbo man is also being heard globally. Now let me take it back the line. When Southern Sudan and South Sudan wanted parted ways, nobody killed each other. Nobody go through the route of violence. It was done amicably. So Samonepa is doing it amicably for him to convince world leaders that this thing is possible, and why the government of the day, the present government of Nigeria, are not seeing it that way. Thank you. You can also to the government, to the Nigerian government, be worried about this. Why would they be worried? The same people have sent assassins to kill Samonepa. Now only he has escaped. So see, one thing about it is that the government of the day, they are panicking. There's panic. You know what is now? So a particular tribe, or a major tribe, to exit your country. You know how an Igbo man is. You know the investment of an Igbo man is in the country. Now imagine in Nigeria without an Igbo man. Let's just imagine that. I mean, dominance. That means the outside man would now dominate virtually every government parastatals in Nigeria. So now the reason why the Igbo man is still believe that's Nigeria is because the Igbo man is still in the contraption called Nigeria. But eventually, if the Igbo man leaves, my brother, the Yoruba man will know the true meaning of Nigeria, and then we now know who owns Nigeria. Just like what Angwabula said, he said they are not scared of the Igbos parting, exiting Nigerians. That was what he said. He said they are not scared. Indirectly, that means the other tribe would not have sense of belonging in the country, and we know it. I know it too. And every man now has the spirit of dominance. You cannot dominate him. If Fulani man has the spirit of dominance, for you to dominate him, it will take ages. In terms of population, you cannot dominate them. So one thing is that Ojukwu have foreseen this whole thing. That was why he championed this Biafra struggle. And now, gradually, it is now becoming a reality in this contraction called Nigeria. Now, there are some Igbo men are even tired of the system called Nigeria, just because they feel their brother is still in president. Man, my brother, I can bet you, come 2027, the Yorubas will be championing the Republic more than the Igbo man. I can bet you that. That I'm very certain of. Yes, we will championing because it is certain when their president, when their brother is being kicked away for the presidency. Already there is a plot, and which he himself cannot escape. The president himself knows that there's a plot, and then the big shots to the north are formed alliance. You know it. RFI, a powerful influence in the north, is not in the league. Sorry, is not in good terms with the president. And no, nobody can take that factor. What RFI did, or see that made President Tinubu emerge as the president via his own influence. And then we have also the likes of Angulai, which is the chairman of the Northern Others Forum. He said post that election that the Northern Others Forum supported Tinubu, but come 2027, Tinubu will not get their support. So what does that mean? Now if the average Northern person is not giving the vote, now where will they get the vote? The shots come by 2027. The same thing the universe have tagged the votes for. Now there will be the master mind of it, because I can bet you by 2027 Yoruba will stop, and that's the slogan that will continue the trend, is that we are tired of the country, we want to follow the suit of the Igbo man and exit the country. And then the Igbo man now will not take them, thank them for being unserious, because now that the Igbo man is struggling for the exit, we are saying the Igbo man is not serious. There are claims that the Igbo man is not serious, but I can bet you when the system will not catch up with you, then you will know why the Igbo man has been championing to exit. Thank you for always coming.
Igbo na-ege ntị, ngwadalụ line ndịkun si wene sere n'iru akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Anyị ga-adapụ n'ukwu ya tiatu ya bụ ife ọnụnụ n'iru akwụkwọ nwanne nwoke kwu ọnọdụ Biafran activist. Dịka ị ga-esi ya bụ ife drọpụra ife iche n'ụdị nke gị gbasata maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile o kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ. Ngwanụ ka emesịa na ụmụnne m.